And that's the thing. It's a tool to get your message out there, your information, your products, all of that. But through my journey, it's been a very confusing tool. There's just so much out there. Even one of my business colleagues, she is running Facebook ads. She's doing it on her own at the moment. And I'm just hearing the stories of it's been a hit and a miss. She's testing and trialing. And I'm like, hats off to you that you've got the patience. I don't.
Stop and don't spend another single cent on advertising until you listen to this. I'm Marianne Amies. This is Ready, Set, Paid Ads, digital marketing for paid ad success. Let's go. I catch up with Michelle Fraigas today. Michelle is a coach that helps women to speak on stage and is also a leadership expert. We have a great chat about ads, and to be honest, Michelle almost takes the mic and Q&As me on some areas of paid ads that she has heard a lot of conflicting items about. So whether that is how to set your budget, the role of boosting posts and ad strategy, we really get into the nitty-gritty. We also talk about the power of organic style ads and how you can really think of turning up on ads in video as turning up on a stage. So I think it's a great chat with lots of insights, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to be joined today by Michelle Fraigas. Michelle, how are you?
Great, Marianne. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. I think we're both a little bit cold and trying to warm up and stay positive. To
Yeah.
kick off, I would love you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Oh, well, I hate an elevator pitch, but just out there, I'm here. I support women to feel confident to speak on stages and share their
Amazing.
stories. So that's the elevator story there. But yeah, but I'm made up of reds like we all are.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think speaking on stages and speaking for your business generally is such an important part. And I was talking to someone the other day, as business owners, you get thrown into all these extra skills and all these extra have to do's or want to do's that
Yeah,
may not feel completely aligned. And we're kind of always developing ourselves to take on these challenges.
absolutely. For many of us, it doesn't come naturally to
Mm.
put ourselves out there to be more visible. So yeah, we sometimes need to learn that skill. And when we do, then we discover a part of ourselves that
Yeah.
always there, but we're too afraid to bring it out. So
Yeah, so true. And I think a lot of it is that fear of what other people will think and say. And we all sit there and wonder how we'll be judged by others. And I think that really holds people back as well.
yeah, I agree. I think I still have that.
Oh, I would love to meet the person who can truly say they don't. I
Oh,
think even you try to think, oh, I don't care about what other people think, but I think there's always a little niggle here and there.
I think every time you go another level in your
Mm.
growth and your own business, you'll be faced with some sort of doubt, judgment,
Yeah,
all of that. So I feel like our business is really is something we're always working on within
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I have to ask you the question today on the podcast, and that is, do you ads, Michelle?
Oh, I tell you what, Marianne, when you sent me about ads, I was like, "Oh, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with ads." And I think probably that's because how I was introduced to ads.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, tell us about it.
So I was in a big container of a business mentoring coaching program,
Yeah.
and we were always told to just boost ads, like
Oh.
posts. No, you're
Giving
probably
me
cringing
anxiety.
at that. Probably cringe worthy, right? And at the time, being quite new in the online space, I thought,
Mm,
okay, well, that makes sense. I don't have to think much about
yeah.
it. Just boost one of my contents, one of my posts.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a hit and miss. Some get a
Yeah.
response, some don't. And then I also, after that, I kind of started saying, no, I think there's a little bit more to just the ad. And so I started exploring, speaking to people who create ads and then
Yeah.
manage ads. And then I thought, oh my goodness, there's a whole plethora of different bases. And then I did invest not a lot of money, but for someone to create an ad, put the copy together and put it out there.
Yeah.
And then when I came back to that, I realized I really needed to get clear on what my messaging is,
Mm.
really test my offering out because that was just like boosting an ad. So it was just like, well, I might as well just boost a post. It was the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then I did one of those DIY programs where I started to learn the different intricacies of creating an ad, managing an ad, audience, all those. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And this is not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It doesn't excite me at all. Put me on a stage to speak. Oh, that's my excitement. Right. And that's when I came to realize that when I do ads, I
Mm.
will outsource someone
Yeah.
who has the expertise. I've tested and trialed messaging that's worked,
Yeah.
offerings that have worked. And so then I can invest in a specialist.
Yeah. Oh, and I think you're spot on. And you've said so many interesting things there. I think when it comes to boosting, that is always been about the quick fix. The platforms made boosting so it was simple, it was easy, and to be honest, a bit of a money pit. You're boosting $20 here, $50 there, and you're thinking, it's just $20, it's just $50, but all that money adds up. And what I often find with a boosted post, the post itself isn't engineered for success. So it
Mm.
doesn't have the right call to actions, it doesn't have the right elements. And people say, "Oh, well, I boosted all these posts, but I didn't get any sales." Well, what sort of posts were you boosting? Were you boosting posts that said about what you did and told people to how to convert on it? Well, then you're not going to get sales. You are just going to get likes and maybe comments if you're lucky, because that's what the boost was designed to do. And I think I love what you said about going into ads with no strategy and it being no better than boosting,
Yeah.
because our biggest criticism of boosting is that there's not as intricate an audience set up,
Mm.
and we're often not boosting content that's optimized to succeed. So yeah, if you just go into ads without a strategy, well, you're back to you are back to boosting.
Yeah. I think all the money that I invested in the boosting and
Yeah.
in this hope and pray and spray
Yeah.
that something will work, on reflection, it's like, it's better that I use that money and
Mm.
invested in someone that built a strategy. And like,
Yeah.
it's like getting really clear what you want the ads to do. What's the
Yeah.
step you want people to take? And also knowing what does work, what doesn't work. I don't
Yeah.
have that knowledge. I don't have time to have that knowledge either.
100%. And even a good specialist can go on that journey with you. A
Yeah.
good specialist doesn't necessarily need to know for your particular niche the winning formula. They need to be really skilled in testing, running comparative tests and learning from those tests. Is it this audience or is it that audience? Is it video or is it carousel? Is
Yeah.
it top of funnel or is it bottom? Like what works best for this particular business, and working on that constantly. And we even say, once you think you have a winning ad, you want to beat it. A good specialist wants to beat it. It's like, oh, this ad is amazing. It's doing so well. All right, could I do better? There's that kind of fire to always improve it and always do better. And I think the strategy is critical, because ads gives us, I guess, the platform to get exactly in front of the right person. But if you don't know that right person, or if you don't have ideas of what you could test about that right person, then you are spraying and praying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the other thing that I noticed as well is probably, and maybe you can kind of quash this belief, something, I don't know, but I've spoken to so many different people around,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, just put $50 a day to test something
Yeah.
and then it's $500. And then it's like, you got to match it to what is the value of the product that you're selling. And I'm like, there is just
Oh,
so
wow. Yeah.
information overload that I don't know what's right and what's wrong.
That's such a good point. And how much to spend is one of those how long is a piece of string questions, because it does depend on so many factors. My first kind of theory on spend is you've got time and you've got money. So if you've got time, you can spend less money and slowly learn. If you don't have time, you need to spend more money because it accelerates the learning. So if I put $10 a day on your sales page, for example, it might take me 10 to 15 to 20 days to find out, is it a good page? Is the ad creative right? Is the audience right? Because only a limited amount of people are seeing and engaging.
Yeah.
If I put $100 a day, maybe in 5 days I'll know because there's volume and that volume drives learning. So that's my first concept is always time and money. And then the next is sort of like competitiveness and market size. If you're in a very competitive area, so
Mm.
lots of people are trying to target the exact same people as you, and it doesn't even have to be for your service. It could just be, say, women 35 to 45. They get targeted a lot on social media ads across fashion, lifestyle, beauty.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the business stuff and you've got all the parenting stuff. So they're quite heavily targeted. So if
Yeah.
that is your target, and then you only want to target them 10Ks around your hairdressing salon, all of a sudden that's going to be quite expensive because I think of Meta as availability of ad stock. So every person is like an individual newspaper
Yeah. Right.
for us old people. So, I'm a newspaper and you're a newspaper and Meta's trying to place ads in it. So if
Mm.
everyone wants to place ads in our newspaper, and then you're also saying to Meta, well, I'm only interested in the newspapers that are 10Ks around my beauty salon, the price is going to go up because
Yeah. More value.
everything is a silent auction of who's willing to spend more to get their ad in front of that person. But
Yeah.
if you were Australia-wide, the pool is bigger. So even though you might be women 35 to 45, which is quite competitive, now we've got the whole of Australia to show ads to. So you might
Yeah.
find that cost goes down.
Yeah.
So, or maybe you're actually targeting women over 55 and it's not as saturated. So it's understanding the dynamics of who you're trying to get in front of and that market size. I find the more niche the market, the higher the cost. And that can be fine. We run ads for builders. So if we have a cost per lead of $100, $150, they're converting something that's $500,000. So
Yes.
it's okay. You look at it like, oh my gosh, like that lead was $150. But, if we give them 10 leads a month and they convert 2, it's all more than paid for
Correct.
itself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's looking at the total conversion line as well to work out what is reasonable. If you are selling a coaching program and it's $2,000, and it's important to also understand like the lifetime value. Is that person just going to transact with you once? Or do most people end up coming on a retreat and then signing into another mastermind? Are people maybe worth 10,000 or 15,000? So
Yeah.
then you can kind of work backwards and go, well, if my average person spends $10,000 with me, then yeah, I'd probably be happy for the converted cost to be $100 per person.
Yeah.
And then looking at how many leads do I need to convert one? Okay, maybe I need 10. So therefore, my cost per lead needs to be about $10. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of math.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of math of visualizing. But I think when you work with somebody that can really look from awareness to conversion and understand what you're trying to sell, the value of it, the way in which you convert it, they can help you then set realistic budgets based on all those little steps as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really important that I love that you shared that because you don't know what you don't
Yeah.
know. That's why the experts are there because they're
Yeah.
doing it day in, day out. And so they're going to be helping you map out that budget and
Yeah.
work out for your business what's the right.
Yeah, totally.
But when I hear like even that group that I was in and
Yeah.
a few years down the track, she openly, transparently shared that in order for her to get people into her kind of free challenge, her ad spend based on how many people came in, then how many enrolled in her 9-week program was
Yeah.
at break even.
Wow.
Break even. However, it is what she goes from that 9-week to then a year-long program
Yeah.
where she starts to make.
Make money. Yeah. Yeah. And again, she understands her funnel. She
Right.
understands like I have a lost leader, then I have a
Yes.
break. And I guess that's also knowing in those personal service businesses, the strength of your conversion once you have somebody one-to-one. Obviously, when you go into a program, you're looking for connection, you're looking for inspiration. And if she knows she delivers in that program, then she knows she's going to sell on to the next thing and the next thing. I think it's when you go, I'm sure like me, you know that feeling, you sign up to somebody's thing, you're in the container and then you're like, this isn't it. This is
Yeah.
not what I thought it was. And so they're the people that probably don't convert on and
Correct.
need to be really
Yeah.
aware of that as well.
Yeah. But it was like, you're right. And then I've witnessed how she's brought people, because I've also was on the team as well for a period of,
Yeah.
where she brought people in and the Facebook ads were at break even, but her conversion from that 9-week program to a year was quite high.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she created that container. So when we all heard the amount of money she's investing in ads,
Yeah.
wow, it's
I
a lot.
know. But then
Yeah.
you can see how it pays off down the line. And again, I think that is almost like you need to get to that level to know those facts to then back yourself in that
Yeah.
way. I think for most people, I always say it shouldn't be too hard to give away a freebie. So I'm like, you shouldn't have to spend loads on your freebie ads
Yeah.
because if it's a great freebie, if it's a great offer, great creative, right targeting, it will just go. And so I think that also comes down to, yeah, you're testing. If you've got a freebie and you've got to pump so much money into it for it to go,
Mm.
what's not right?
Yeah.
Is it have you tried enough creative options? Have you gone back to the audience builds and tried different builds of that? You know, why? To me, there's a why there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know we've all gotten tired. We know the game now, right? Like years ago, we put our email in for all these free things and we were really excited. I don't think we realized as much that we were getting sucked into marketing funnels. Where now, even I do it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I want the thing. I guess I'll put my email in and just wait for the barrage. Wait
Yeah.
for the
Or
barrage
just
to come.
get what I need and then unsubscribe. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Right?
totally, totally. Because we have to. Otherwise, it's just too much stuff all the time, right? And I think it's a reality. And so, yeah, making that freebie great and knowing what you're going to back it in with so people don't unsubscribe. So
Yeah.
people want the next thing and want to keep going with you as well.
Yeah. I actually have to ask you, while we're on the ads thing, I notice on Facebook, and I don't know whether it's my feed is just bombarded with ads lately,
Yeah.
other than organic kind of than that.
Yeah,
So,
I do. I think you used to get like an ad and then a few organic and an ad. Sometimes now I notice I might get 2 ads in a row,
mm,
1 organic, another ad. I definitely feel that too. Even on Instagram, like with stories, I feel like you used to
yeah,
kind of tap and get a story here and there. That was an ad. Where now it's kind of like maybe every 2 you're getting that ad. And I feel like the ads are loaded at the front as well. So you kind of get more ads at the start of your browse time. So they're kind of like, oh, they're here, quick, serve all the
yeah.
ads, serve all the ads.
Interesting, right? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. But I think I take a very, I guess, pragmatic view for ads as well, because the platform that Meta is and all the ones that followed for business owners, it's the most affordable, effective way to reach the target market than has ever been available. If I've been in marketing for 25 years, and certainly what came before I started was very same, never has it been so cost effective, targeted, and measurable. And if that, as consumers, yes, there are ads, and we often feel like, oh, I can't believe I have to pay to get it out. Organic used to be so good, all those sorts of things. If that business doesn't make money, it will close down. So if Meta didn't monetize, how could it provide this platform for free ongoing? It's
yeah.
ludicrous. There's staff, there's technology, there's storage, there's all those things. So it has to monetize to be sustainable.
Mm,
But I do think we're still benefiting. And even as that organic reach goes down, and we do feel like we have to spend, the spend is so, I want to say minute. Oh, what's a good word for it? Accessible. If I'm honest, I came from working on really small brands, working on really big brands, and you were still needing an advertising budget of at least 100,000 a
yeah.
year. And what one of us small business owners could afford that? We couldn't, but we can maybe do 5,000 a year on Meta if it returns for us and if it's properly managed. And I just think that you're able to get in front of the exact person you need to, but you're also able to look at analytics to tell you what that person did,
Yes.
what happened. Like radio ads, TV ads, newspaper, we knew nothing. We knew
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. And we get presented these research reports about who watched the ad, but they were generalizations. Was it like 2% of people had the magic box that recorded what they did when they watched TV? And then the TV networks would use that to tell you how your ad spend went
Yeah.
nationwide, but it was never real. It was data. It was statistical modeling. And I think, yeah, as much as it seems sometimes as small business owners that it's not fair that we need ads and that we're being taken advantage of, I really believe the complete opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same. If you think about before social media, before all of that, like you said, the way of advertising and marketing was newspapers, letterbox drops,
Yeah.
TV ads, know,
Yeah.
it was just all the billboards and things
Yeah.
like that. It's just your investment is just redirected to a platform
Yeah.
where the majority of human society live on it these days.
100%.
So,
100%. Yeah, exactly right. Like the penetration of social media and the internet is 99% of the market, like
yeah,
really. So you've got this way to market to exactly who you want to market to.
yeah. And that's the thing. It's a tool to get your message out there, your information, your products, all of that. But through my journey, it's been a very confusing tool. There's just so much out there. Even one of my business colleagues, she is running Facebook ads. She's doing it on her own at the moment. And I'm just hearing the stories of it's been a hit and a miss. She's testing and trialing. And I'm like, hats off to you that you've got the patience. I don't, right? But she
Yeah.
loves the understanding of it and that. Whilst I'm very much of the polar opposite, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, get on the stage, you speak one to many that way. I mean, but the ads can support to get your message out there to be amplified on another stage.
Yeah, totally.
If you've got an event to get more audience, more bums on
Yeah.
your seats through
Yeah.
the value of meta ads and things like
Yeah.
that. So they work together, you know.
100%. As it's funny earlier when you were talking, I was thinking about that and about speaking on a stage. And we know now, especially right now, organic style content does really well in paid ads. And video is obviously on the rise consistently over the last 5 years. And I was thinking, recording content for your ads is somewhat like speaking on a stage.
Oh, totally. It is, absolutely. And now that there's so much out there as well, where there's studios that you can
Mm,
record and people do all the production for you.
yeah.
So it makes it so much more easy, accessible to do that. However,
Yeah.
they still need to talk to one another because you can have a beautiful video production and a
Yeah.
beautiful message, but the ads, how does it get out there? You know,
Yeah.
organic can just cut through just to an extent. And so the two need to really work together, I
Oh,
believe.
100%. Yeah, I always say ads is an opportunity to give good organic content the chance to be seen by the right people,
Yeah.
and to get in front of them as well.
Like, that's a mic drop in itself. I love that.
But I thought maybe you could give a couple of tips on showing up in that way in your ads. What do you think are great insights for people to take your expertise of speaking on a stage and think about that in the content you put out, that it's going to go back through ads as well?
Yeah. Well, when I think about even the video ads that
Mm,
come on my scroll, it's what captivates and captures my
mm.
attention. I can see the ones that are too polished and everything. I just scroll. Like
Yeah.
right. I feel that there needs to be more authentic and real videos.
Yeah.
It's not so polished
Yeah. Yeah, I
where
love that.
feel the real connection of the person. And one of the ways to do that is when you are on video is you're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think that the ones that are cutting through are the ones that are really real and they're having a conversation to the screen, to the
Yeah.
camera, when you feel at the other end that they're really speaking to you.
Yeah.
They're really speaking your language
Yeah.
and they're sharing stories to
Yeah.
connect all the dots. So kind of like being more you, whatever
Yeah.
you looks like. For all of us, that's very different.
Yeah.
And to trust that is more than enough.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I think that's the thing. I think sometimes we think we have to show up in a certain way, but I love that thought of whatever way you are authentically you is enough.
Yeah. And people can sense that and feel it. When you look at a video and you're like, oh, I like that person. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I just
Yeah.
like them. I connect with them
Yeah.
because it's fully embodied and real of who they are.
Yeah. So
What they
true.
are. And then there's some that you go, something's a little bit off. And they're just either more polished or they're not being fully
Mm.
themselves. They're following a script or
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Or trying to leverage a trend. Sometimes you see
yes.
someone trying so hard to leverage a trend and it doesn't fit. You're like, this doesn't feel like you. This doesn't feel like who you are. It
Yeah.
just feels, yeah. And I guess that disconnect then damages the trust, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you don't feel authentic. There's something not right. Can I trust you? Do I then buy into what it is you're selling or offering? And then kind of the dominoes fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I've been guilty of it where I like, oh no, I'm gonna get really clever and smart and and I'm like, hey, this does not feel like me. And the more the ones that don't feel like me, they
Yeah.
don't do well.
No, correct.
You know,
Yes, so true. And I think people do want that human connection. And I think on most channels as well, like I know on my LinkedIn, on my Instagram, if I talk in a post really honestly about something tough in business or something tough with staff, get so much more engagement than if I talk about something uplifting or motivating or something in
yeah,
the industry. It's kind of like they get the likes, but then the ones that people really engage with is when you're really authentic. And I think, again, show that vulnerability and let people connect with you in that way.
completely, totally. And the thing is, I spoke on this another time that the AI thing,
Mm,
people can duplicate and you can make a video clone of yourself,
yeah.
everything. And so now more and more people are going to start to question, and they already
Yeah.
are, like, "Is this real? Is this"
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I showed my son the other day, I did a photo shoot, and they did a little video, and I went, "Oh, what do you think?" He goes, "I think that's AI." I said, "No, it's not AI."
I dare you.
He goes, "You don't like, nobody dances like that, mum." I go, "Yeah, your mum dances like that's who I am."
No,
Like,
but it's so true. And even when I'm looking at content, you're watching something, there's a lot with animals now and stuff. You're watching something and you're like, is that
yeah,
AI? Is that dog real or is that AI?
yeah,
And you're right, that's only going to get worse and worse. I'm funny, I try to skip over, especially like the ridiculous AI generated content that you see. I skip over it really quickly because I'm like, I don't want the algorithm to think I'm interested in this. I am not
yeah,
interested in this.
yeah.
I think I saw one once and it was like spaghetti and meatballs, but then the meatballs turned into dogs. It was revolting, right? Like they turned into little puppet, but really bad. And I was like, go quickly over this and send a
Yeah,
strong signal that I do not want this in my feed. It's kind
yeah,
of giving that feedback, the small bits of power that we have. But
yeah.
yeah, you're right. I think the rise in that AI video is going to have a bigger call to us to show up authentically and in that organic way where people go, oh, that's not perfect. Therefore, it's likely to be real.
Yes, exactly, and try not to stage authenticity. I've
Yeah.
seen stage authenticity as well.
Even worse.
Oh, even worse, and yeah, it's just like being more real to who you are and what
Yeah.
you're about,
Yeah.
and obviously there's this part that, yeah, this is who I am, and but you're walking the path to maybe improving yourself, up leveling yourself,
Yeah.
but take people on that journey.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. And again, I think that connection you can build through that is so valuable.
Yes, yeah, and I think having that, and I don't know the magic on how to do that, but taking that through the ads as well,
Yeah.
like the people who are in your world, who have
Mm.
followed your journey and who maybe have not clicked on the ad yet,
Yeah.
can start to see your transition, and when you
Yeah.
openly share that, then people are more likely to connect with you as a personal brand or the brand of your business. And
Yeah, so true. So true. I think that's wonderful advice.
yeah. So anyway, and I've got to just say, have you seen those podcast babies that they're like those
Oh, yeah, strange.
that?
Strange. I know,
Yeah.
and they talk and yeah, it's interesting because you just don't know where it's going to go. Because I think as well, being in an age where we've lived through so much change as well, I look at it and I think, is this flash in the pan or is this going to continue? Is it just something that's fun to play with now and then people get bored of it? Or I don't think we need to reimagine people as babies and
Oh,
yeah, it's interesting times.
it's the time to really cut through your own authenticity.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think coming back to speaking on stage and things like that, and I was having this conversation with another guest on the podcast the other week, and not to discount the real human connection because ads
Oh,
are great. And obviously, ads are a tool to get that awareness, get that conversion. But there is still such a need for real human interaction,
mm,
real human conversation. And that is often the more valuable piece that leads to conversion as well.
totally. That is going to be more highly valued now
Yeah.
in this world. And so that's why I said with the ads can support people to get your people to the rooms of
Yeah,
those
totally.
events. So if I think about for me and my business in the future, that's what I see
Yeah.
ads is to support me to bring more of my audience in my room to
Yeah.
feel the energy, the transformation, the
Yeah.
transition, all of that. So that's how I see
Yeah.
ads for my,
Yeah.
you know?
Which is perfect. Exactly right. They're the means to the end. They're the conduit of
Yeah.
helping you be discovered by the right people so that you can then have those real experiences together.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So
perfect. Well, thank you. It's been such a great chat. We've covered lots of good ground, demystified some things. And Michelle, where can people connect with you and follow you and learn more about what you offer?
yes, in this wild web of the social media, you can follow me on Instagram, just my name, Michelle Fraigas, or on LinkedIn. They're my main
Beautiful.
two portals. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks, Marianne. I really enjoyed the conversation.
That's a wrap on another episode of Ready, Set, Paid Ads. If you're looking for done-for-you services, training to upskill you in ads management, or free and paid resources to help you plan and execute better ads, head to wiseupmarketing.com.au. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe for future episodes. And if you know someone that would love this podcast too, go on and share it.